All right, thanks for watching today. This is another video where we unlock tax lien auctions for you. We show you what's in the auction, what's available, how to research the properties, how to filter down to what you're looking for, and even how the auctions work and where to find them. Just try to give you enough to go on to see, is this a tax lien market you want to invest in? And if it is, how to get started. So today we're going to cover Nassau, New York. It's been out a couple weeks. It's been on our site for a couple weeks ready for you to use, but we just haven't made a video yet. So here it is. Let's jump in and talk about the tax lien auction totals and just an overview of what we're looking at here. The auction date's in a couple weeks, February 18th, 2025. It's going to be held online at realauction.com. More on that in a minute. These are tax liens with a maximum interest of 20% annually. This is broken out in 6-month periods, and I'll tell you why in a second. Basically, if we're talking about 10% every 6 months, that's the same thing as 20% annually. And there's a 2-year redemption period on these. But what you're going to find interesting is the auction format is why we break this into 6-month chunks at 10%. Since you're bidding the interest rate down at auction, they decided to bid down at starting at 10%, covering every 6 months. So you would bid down from 10,987, whatever on down percentage wise, and the lowest percentage bidder wins. And they get that interest rate every 6 months applied until there's a redemption, of course. If there's a redemption, you get the money plus interest back. So interesting that they chose a 6-month period, but I guess it simplifies the auction format to start at 10% and work down instead of 20. As far as what's in the auction, there are over 6,000 total properties in the original advertisement, 6,268 to be exact. There have been some redemptions since then, so it's gone down. About 75% of those had structures on them of some sort. Okay, so that's kind of on the higher end of what we see in tax lien auctions. We usually say like 2/3 to 3/4 of them usually have structures, but in this case, right at almost 75% is pretty high. This number probably needs like exclamation marks and bold and blinking red tag on it because the auction value is 3.8 billion with a B. I double, triple, quadruple check this to make sure we've not done the math wrong. But if you take every property in the auction, take the county valuation of what's assessed on taxes and what they say the property appraisal is, which is even low in most cases, 3.8 billion is the number you come up with if you add all of it together. This is a very big auction. It's not our biggest auction in total properties, but it's very big in auction value, probably because of the area in New York this is located. The overdue tax is also a very large number, $69 million in taxes that this county is trying to recover. Of course, they need those funds for a lot of projects. They need it just for their operations. So 69 million is a large price to amount to try to get back. So this auction will help them fund the county. It will help them get that tax revenue back into play. And one last note before we move on to our live demo here, but Nassau County is one of 2 counties that we have found in New York that issue tax lien auctions. It looks like every county does tax deed auctions, but the liens in most counties are held by the county until they become a deed. They don't sell them to the public. Uh, New York, the county that holds New York City, New York, has a tax lien sales system, but it's mainly for private bidders with a very large minimum buy-in. It's in the millions of dollars, I believe, where you would have to buy a large chunk of liens just to participate. So it's kind of a private sale. But Nassau is kind of the best of both worlds. It's a lot of properties, very high value for the auction, and they're selling the liens to the public. So it's kind of a rare opportunity in New York to have a public tax lien auction like this. That's just kind of to put this in perspective with the rest of the state. We will have tax deed auctions. We've already had some on the site, but we'll have even more coming up later this year on New York. So let's switch over to the live demo. Let's unlock this auction for you. So like I said, we're going to start off at realauction.com. In fact, let's go straight to the beginning of Real Auction. This is the website. Let's go to the clients, and we're going to look at Real Tax Lien as the system this is in. Now we're going to go select New York, and we see Nassau County. All right, so if we preview the items for sale, it opens up this window, and we can take a look at what's available. You see unavailable in red on the right-hand column if it's been redeemed, or active, it's available. The face amount is the opening bid, which you would be bidding, or you actually don't bid that. You pay that money and get interest on that amount. Let's see. The parcel ID is a hyperlink that you can click and go to the county property card. That's very handy if you want to go look up and research more about the property. There's all kinds of tabs here, plenty of information, even a photo to go with. So that's how you could handle this auction. 126 pages, 6,000 plus records. So I wanted to show you how to really unlock this auction. We're going to go to the map, and this is Parcel Fair at parcelfair.com. This is our site. This is our YouTube channel too, and we're looking at this aerial view of Nassau County. So to put this in perspective, let's zoom out, and it's the southern tip of New York. The most of the New York State is way up here. As you probably know, New York City, like the island of Manhattan, is actually over here. And so we're talking a couple counties east of that. And this is it has water, ocean on the north and the southern part of Nassau County. You might know it for areas like Atlantic Beach and Long Beach. There's some state parks here. So, and it looks like the little freckles on the map here. These yellow outlines, these are the tax liens that are available. These are the properties. We can switch over on the map here to satellite view if you wanted to see like that kind of view, and you could, especially on like if you're looking at the water's edge, properties like this, you probably want to see a satellite view for that. And I'm going to switch back to that high contrast map view up here. So yeah, we're looking at property outlines for this auction. Now, why don't we take one and let's just, I'm just going to pick at random. I do want something with the structure, I think, to show you. Well, let's move to something that's actually, there we go. Let's take something like this. All right, so this is a $1.5 million house on 1/3 acre. And there's a $9,000 tax lien. So see, one lien available, $9,000 is the opening bid. Again, you will bid the interest down. You won't bid the value or the price up. So we're looking at the report here. We have the address, all the vital information, square feet, three bathrooms. The legal description is here. We can see it's an occupied property address according to the Postal Service. And probably one of the most important things you're going to look for is, how do I bid on this property? Well, the purchase option section right here is where you would click on that. And this gives you the registration link, the info on the auction, and the list. Links to all of those places so you can go bid on this property and register and do all your things. In addition, on the right side, on the research links, we also have a link to the property card and the GIS map. So you can do the same thing over like we at real auction. We can go see the property card and find out more information about that property. Right. So I guess one side note real quick, if you wanted to, you could actually save this into a list if you want to track it for later. You could put some notes on this property, upload some attachments if you have like extra photos. There's all kinds of ways to organize your research on our site. I guess for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to click add to favorites. So this blue button, I just added this to my favorites list. So now I can go see that in my favorites later, but we won't get into that here. Let's go look at how we can save you some more time on this auction. And so again, we're hovering around on this map. We can click around properties. We can check on waterfront on the south beach here, the southern side. We can also check the northern waterfronts and see what's available there, just flying around the map. But one thing I really want to save you time with is the search filters. We're going to click on the search filters here, and we're looking at Nassau in New York. And let's start off by just showing you what has improvements. 4,200 of the property, so that does not narrow it down very much. The values are very high, so instead of setting a value filter here, I'm going to go with the taxes owed because that's going to be my auction bid. Let's say I don't want to spend less than $5,000 on a lien, and let's say I don't want to spend more than $20,000 on a lien. Let's take it down to $10,000. So that took my list down to 1,000 properties, and so that's kind of useful to go ahead and like take the 6,000 properties down to something more manageable. Let's use acreage. I don't know if there's going to be anything with 5 acres or more. Very little, 65 properties. Let's see what that even looks like. Okay, so you can get acreage in this part of New York actually. 13 acres, 15 acres, 21 acres. So there's a few options there if you're trying to find just raw land that you wanted to build on or buy and hold, whatever. This one looks pretty landlocked right here, but it's 12 acres worth a valuation of about $1 million. So that's another way to look at it. So other than that, really, we have thousands of auctions every year. I think we had over 10,000 auctions on the site Parcel Fair last year. This is what we bring you is a way to look through and just drill into these auctions. Nassau County in particular, I just wanted to show this to you today because it's the first year we've tracked it. It's a big auction. It's a unique opportunity in New York. And I think we can save you loads of time in this auction and many other auctions and over-the-counter properties. I mean, while we're here, let's go check out. Here's an over-the-counter inventory in Syracuse, New York. So, we stayed in the same state, the opposite end, and now we're looking at over-the-counter properties that we can buy. So, just the opportunities are endless here. There's so much to look at on the site. I hope you'll check it out. And the Nassau auction is definitely worth checking out if you like tax liens and high interest, especially. So, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, and that'll give you notifications when these videos come out. And like this video too on YouTube. That will tell us and give us a signal that this is content you enjoy and want to see more of. And of course, stay tuned. We put out videos pretty much every week. We sometimes we put out multiple in one week, and sometimes we skip a week. But we try to put out a lot of content that's relevant for you as a tax investor, or even just a real estate investor looking for hidden markets. There's so many ways to buy, and every state has some opportunities in it, and we're trying to really cover that for you. So I hope this was useful for you, and best of luck at the auction.